The battle for Greece is about to begin, and once again the fortress of Athens is a staging point for both sides in this brutal head-to-head battle. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Rome 2 Divide et Impera campaign battle multiplayer head-to-head. I don't know how many more keywords I can use, but welcome, guys. So this was sent in to me by someone over on the Discord from his DEI head-to-head campaign. We previously did an ambush battle from their campaign, however it did actually end up desyncing because DEI is recently updated, which definitely go check out over on the Steam Workshop if you haven't already. The best mod probably for any Total War, maybe besides Third Age Total War, I don't know. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I have a guide up on the channel as well. It's definitely worth checking out if you have never played DEI because it is amazing. But yes, this is a head-to-head between Pontus and Rome, and this is really one of the first times that these two factions have fought each other. He gave me a big description of everything that's kind of gone down in the campaign, which we obviously had a little look-see at. But right now, this is kind of a major fight in Greece, much like Greece always is in head-to-head campaigns. I guess it's kind of the in-between of the East and the West, you know. Right now they're currently fighting over the grand city of Athens. Rome has a huge naval blockade set up here, bombarding the oncoming Pontic forces, and if Rome wins this, they basically gain control over Greece. They destroy the Pontic naval superiority in the Adriatic, and it allows them to do a ton more damage. In the battle, though, we do also obviously have a Pontic army coming in, ready to try and breach the walls. They're going to be, you know, pretty decent, like elite men. These are heavy Galatian swords. We have some pretty strong Pontic warriors as well, moving up hoplite, swords, axemen, and pikes as well, all ready to push forward. We can't see, I don't think, everything Pontus has, but actually maybe this is everything they have. Maybe they're really relying on their navy to push forward. I also know as well there is also like an AI army somewhere as well, which is reinforcing, but maybe they can't be brought on for whatever reason. Maybe it's just these naval ships right there that are coming on. So it's really important for both sides to obviously come out on top of this, because, you know, Greece is literally the middle point. For Rome, it's the position for the ability to actually invade into Asia Minor, and for Pontus, it's kind of obviously a staging ground for Italy itself. So a very interesting naval setup here. Something that I've never really grabbed too much of is these artillery ships, but both these players have spammed the artillery ships, so they obviously have to be somewhat decent. I've never really had any luck with them, but then again, I don't really tend to grab a lot of them. Actually, I can actually completely understand why you would take these artillery ships, because as you're charging someone with them, you do some decent damage. Because as you can see, well, this ship actually did die after one hit, but as you're charging towards someone, the artillery ships are firing, and they can actually make the difference between if you sink a ship or not. Because, you know, a lot of the time when you're fighting bigger ships, they end up, you know, only taking like 70% damage. So if some of your artillery actually hits the enemy's ship you're going straight on, that could do the damage you need to sink it. So I actually really like the strategy. It's something I've never thought of, and probably something that I might utilize in my future head-to-head campaigns with Republic of Play. Another really good thing as well is using them to destroy the walls as well. You can make a decent breach point in the walls with a ton of artillery ships as well. So I like that idea as well. It's not a bad play whatsoever. The main Pontic force is moving on slowly but surely, and yeah, as you can see, they can't bring on the majority of their land army because they have so many ships right now. So it's actually really important for Rome, if they wanted to, they're kind of pushing out the settlement right now to set up here. But yeah, it'd be a really good idea for Rome to bring up their army and actually just try and hit this force before it can get all its reinforcements on. Because they're slowly trickling on as some of the smaller Pontic ships do retreat from the field of battle. So yeah, it would be a great idea. Yeah, you can see more of these guys are falling out now just so they can bring on more soldiers for the assault, which I think is a really good idea. However, it also doesn't look like Rome really has much in the way of units. They have some spot and hoplites set up, which are not bad, and then just a lot of local citizen militia and some basic units, honestly. They obviously also have a defensive force here as well. Some Legio veterans, yeah, Legio veterans here, which will do obviously a very good job. They seem semi-depleted though, so if Athens can get inside the city, I think they've got this battle pretty much on lockdown, but that Roman navy is going to be very scary. And I mean, honestly, naval battles are always such a, you know, who knows who's going to win. So, like, literally, either side could really come out on top here. All it takes is a couple good artillery shots. There's no real, like, heavy meat 2v Marines. But again, this is also a pretty interesting scenario, right? Because there's no real, like, reinforcements for the Pontic force whatsoever. These are, like, obviously, you know, these aren't the same as, like, bringing a Marine ship of 120 men or anything like that. These are basically just kind of, like, pretty bad Marines. They're like kind of mid of the table, so they're not going to be a huge support to the land once they stop firing their artillery compared to, like, you know, the more elite infantry. But so far, I mean, it seems like the artillery ships of Pontus are doing some serious work right now. They've already managed to kill a handful of the enemy ships, and maybe this is what I've been missing when it comes to the naval side of things. Because right now it seems like they are clearing out these ships very effectively. I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? When you have huge numbers of artillery ships, it really does make sense. Because generally, whenever me and Darren have used them in our head-to-heads, it's always been kind of like we've only used 1 or 2, and that hasn't really been very effective. But yeah, if you use like 3 or 4, or no, I say 4 or 3 or 4, if you use like 10 or 20, it really actually does a huge thing. And I might try that, bring like 10 artillery ships in a navy. I still really like the accessibility of having, you know, having Marines to help out with the engagements. But yeah, like, I really like this idea of having the ability to do damage to the enemy ships as you're about to charge it. Because yeah, you just do that additional damage. I really, really do. Obviously, these ships are expensive, you know, for sure. But, you know, if it helps you win the naval battle, then that's completely worth it. As the Pontic Navy really does clash into what remains of the Roman forces. There's not really much left of them. We do have these set forces set up here, and Pontus doesn't really have like a huge like reinforcement. Obviously, they're still waiting for more reinforcements. And oh, it's the same with the Romans as well. I knew they had more forces. So Rome itself also have reinforcements. Again, I can't remember exactly what it has, but the reason why all these units are now coming onto the field is because you can't have more than 40 units in a battle, and that's why we're seeing, you know, as the Roman units break the reinforcements, the same with Pontus as well. That's why you're seeing soldiers go away. So it seems like the entire Roman navy has just been obliterated here. There were more Pontic ships, they were better well positioned, and they were able to catch the Roman forces off guard. And this is going to really, really hurt, because if I'm not mistaken, I can actually click on it. Sorry, I know the music's just gone, but I'll take a look at the battle replay map for you guys that he sent in to me. Yes, Pontus actually own currently... And actually, Rome currently own Athens right now. So this is like a fight for the entirety. The only settlement that Pontus currently own is going to be, I think, the not Pella, but the place in Thrace. I'll actually put up the map maybe at the beginning of the battle for you guys, so you can check it out for yourself, just to see kind of what's going on. He also did write a pretty big description, but I kind of find it a bit hard to integrate that into these battle videos, so I'm not too sure. Nice though, so seeing that the battle is basically lost at sea, the artillery ships are turning around and just trying to do any damage they can to the main battle line, which I think is actually a really good idea. And this is a huge Roman reinforcement right here. Cavalry running amok against the skirmishers as they come on the field of battle. As the Peltis, you know, obviously as units start to die for Pontus, more men come on, and Rome is seizing that opportunity, charging in, taking a handful of them down. Over on this side as well, the Pontic cavalry quickly removing themselves. Also, there's a unit of so these guys just come from the sea. They have been risen from the sea and ready for battle, it would seem. No, I think we just couldn't see them because Pontus is like the attacking player, so we can't see exactly what's going on there. Nice rear charge there. Almost destroying this, because as you can see, like, you know, these smaller ships don't quite kill the bigger ships on one ram. So yeah, having the artillery ships coming in, I think is actually really just such a good idea. But yeah, the Roman cavalry causing you know, ruckus, any reinforcements that try and come in, and then we actually have some decent soldiers moving over. When I say decent, these Etruscan hoplites. These Etruscan hoplites are actually quite deceiving. Or these aren't Etruscan, sorry, I can't remember what they are. They're basically southern Italian hoplites, and they're actually pretty good. Their armor looks like they're pretty bad, but trust me, they're not. They're actually pretty decent. Don't really know what's happening over here as well, because the battle shouldn't desync, because I've got the most recent, or the patch back, so we should be fine there. I think maybe Pontus just, yeah, there you go, Pontus just forgot about their units, all good. So I mean, for the most part, the Pontic army should be able to hold off long enough until reinforcements do arrive. They have a few marine boats as well, which will be useful. The javelins are coming in here, though, from the Galatians behind. These are just normal Galatians. And obviously, they also have the pikes as well. The Pila is raining down upon them, doing some serious damage. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I had my reshader on. And it's going to be really important that Pontus can support this assault. And I love the way that the players have sallied out to engage a Pontic army, seeing that the majority of their force is going to be that navy. I really love the idea of coming out as Rome. I think it's actually really, really smart. And that's why I always love these head-to-head battles where, you know, both players are very decent. And because it's a head-to-head, right, there's so much at stake. You know, this could literally define the grand war that they've been working towards, you know, after countless hours. I think mine and Darren's campaign, we played for like 4 or 5 months over like once a week for like 4 or 5 months just to get to a point where we were. So there's just so much at stake, and you never want to make one, which is really cool. So seeing like a big aggressive play like this is absolutely awesome. You could smash the Pontic army very effectively, and until like these ships get over here, they're going to be struggling pretty heavily. Rome is going to be pushing forward, and again, you know, these are just Italian, you know, garrison swords, so it's not going to be anything too like, you know, able to break through these pikes. However, that's exactly the type of unit you want fighting these pikes. A unit that you don't care if you die, and then the rest of the archers can just fire in. They do have a lot of these Toxotai Romanized archers. So, you know, these are going to be doing some serious damage to the pikes and whittling them down. And then obviously waiting for more units to turn up. It's going to be really important to see how the Pontic cavalry does deal with them. They need to find the opportunity, and they need to go in. Obviously, this Lancer cavalry is going to be deadly if they can get into the side of anyone. And now, as you can see, off on the coast, the supporting navy is arriving. And this has to be just such a cool, you know, a cool thing that none of the modern Total Wars do. You know, having the navy support the main land battle and actually have it be really important. It's just such a dope thing that, you know, in Total War, you know, it screams Total War. It's a real shame that, you know, naval battles aren't a thing anymore in Total War, and you know, you don't have this whatsoever. The artillery from the reinforcing ships are coming in. But you need to be careful, because any shots that do just kind of land a little bit too far off could really hurt the line. And also, why the hell have the effects and speeches gone? Have they not been there at all? If they haven't, I really do apologise. If we haven't had the battle sounds on whatsoever. No, we must have. Because I remember them. That's weird. Either way, that's weird. A nice move here by Pontus. Their missiles are getting hammered. However, they have managed to get around the side here of these Spartans. And if they can move around the back and then hammer the Spartans in the back, it's going to be very deadly as the Spartans go toe-to-toe with the Pontic hoplites. However, they are going to be just pulling through there. Against the javelins. The javelins are being melted by the missiles, but the Pontic cavalry has now arrived in wedge formation. The Cephalus, guide my legions, as the cavalry goes flying in, looking for them juicy, vulnerable targets for Roman cavalry, reinforcing with all they've got. But they managed to make their way on. However, that is a suicide mission. Even Alexander himself would not be able to break that. And a lot of these Pontic units are getting pushed back. The missiles close to breaking as local citizen militia and other missile units move up. Obviously, the sturdier front line is holding. They need to be so careful. They really do. And that cavalry is just doing some serious damage from the Romans. We are seeing the Pontic cavalry, who only lost 5 men. 6 men now. Maybe a few more as they pull through, get out of there. Luckily, they ran into the safety of their own pikes through the enemy formation, so not too bad whatsoever. But honestly, these garrison marines are holding pretty firmly against the Pontic hoplites. I mean, that's probably why, though. These Pontic hoplites are not in a phalanx formation, so they're utilising their sword and shield rather than anything else. And now the rest of the Pontic forces have now arrived. This artillery is going to be able to bombard the Roman line, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, honestly. I really don't. You got more reinforcements turning up, and these are the legionary veterans, who I'm not sure if these are like part of a garrison or what. It's kind of confusing what these guys are actually like, because the unit scale seems a bit off on them. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, these must just be like an army, like an actual army situated in Athens, reinforcing. And once these guys arrive, they're going to be in a great situation just to overrun the Pontic forces. However, Pontus, the pikes, doing what pikes do, breaking away the enemy line. With the archer fire coming in, this is a perfect opportunity just to try and bring down as many of their opponents as they can. This unit of Italian horse has lined up perfectly. Look at all them juicy missiles they can bring down. Oh my god, that would be amazing. And here we go. Oh, beautiful. Right into the exposed rear of these Rhodian slingers. All the javelins coming in from Rome as well. Yeah, they actually do have some, are these dart throwers? I think these could be, yeah, these are the dart slingers. These guys will melt. So you get these guys from Larissa, I think, in Greece. They're an area of recruitment unit, and they will melt the pikemen. They have like amazing armor piercing, or maybe they have amazing missile damage, but not good armor piercing. It's one. No, they have 9 armor piercing. They'll melt the pikes if they can get in on them like really quickly. And now I think the Pontic ships are going to have to start to land just to reinforce this. We do have a really good cavalry charge here, though, onto the Marines. And that's going to be hitting hard, that really is. Also, guys, as well, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but we are looking to host a ton more battles in the next couple of weeks over on our Discord. The link is in the description down below. So if you are looking to play any Total War, make sure you join the Discord and just keep an eye out for the battles, because we're going to be hosting probably a lot of vanilla battles to begin with, just so we can get kind of a good community together. But we're going to be hosting Rome 2 battles, we're going to be hosting Warhammer, we're going to be hosting Attila, just a whole ton of fun stuff. And you guys will get a little bit of information beforehand, so you know how and what game you need to have installed to play alongside me. So make sure you do go ahead and join the Discord. I'm also, as well as I said, always looking for battle replays as well. If you have a good online battle, which has to be at least a 2 versus 2, send it in my way. Obviously, you know, if it's a very good head-to-head battle, send it my way. I didn't really take any normal campaign battles which aren't head-to-head. But yeah, feel free to send it my way. Obviously, mods as well. Rise of Mordor 1212. Love all of that stuff. Absolutely awesome. So the veteran legionaries have now turned up, which is pretty scary, because right now, like previously, they were just mainly fighting the town garrison, the Roman garrison, and now they're having to fight like elite legionaries. These guys are scary. They have 64 weapon damage. They have 91 base morale on these guys right here. Is this the first cohort? I'm not sure if this is the first cohort. There's so many Roman legions, it just always confuses me, it really does. They're going to be moving in now, and this is where the real fight begins. I think Pontus desperately need to start landing some of their naval units, and that's exactly what they're doing. But as I said, like, they're going to struggle. Like, we'll be able to see their stats when they fully get off the boats. I don't know if we actually can maybe see that, because obviously they have missile and weapon damage. Yeah, like their melee attack is 6, their weapon damage is actually really high. But they only have 60 armor, so yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how a unit like this does perform. However, we are getting more and more ships actually providing themselves, you know, onto the battle. And these are valuable numbers, and maybe they can just wear down the Roman force. And again, you know, all they have to do is kill this, and then all they have to do is breach the city and go. Like, what they could really do, honestly, right now, you know, something that I would probably do is I'd just send some ships into the city, you know, into the harbor, land them, and just go and take the city center, and force them off the beach. I mean, this is way cooler what they're doing, like way cooler what they're doing, fighting out here in this epic battle. But that was Pontus at this point, seeing that the Romans are, you know, battering the formation. As you can see, we're about to get a beautiful charge right here. You know, if Pontus stay out here on the beach, like, they're going to get slaughtered. Oh, artillery round as well came in as I moved the camera. I would probably just, yeah, go to the city centre and take it, if I'm being completely honest. You know, you got to do what you got to do to win. This is way, way cooler, though. The Roman cavalry breaking away what remains. Now the rest of the Roman armies turned up. Yeah, the Pontus land force is being broken. And it's going to be pretty interesting if the Navy is going to decide to retreat or actually stay here. Because realistically, if they stay here, they will just be meeting the Roman forces as they come off the boats, which is obviously never a good idea. And yeah, I think they're heeding my my advice now and moving towards that city centre. So we're probably going to get the Roman force rushed back. There's artillery, obviously the artillery ships just bombarding the shore. But yeah, I don't think they can really land them. I don't think they can afford to land them. Because already this unit over here has been hammered by missile fire. And is already close to breaking. I think it's a suicide mission if they try and land more of these ships. They're just going to utilize their missiles in this kind of naval blockade style. Send some ships to the city centre and hope. Actually, I mean, maybe not though. Maybe it would be if they want to go all in. Because again, they have to think about the longevity of the campaign. They can't, like, if they lose their entire navy here, is it worth taking Athens? I don't know. But if they do just like push off onto the beach, you would keep a large amount of this army busy. However, the Roman player has seen what Pontus is doing and starting to send back a unit of cavalry, which might be enough because these are just missile ships, right? So one good cavalry charge will break the missiles pretty effectively, and then that could be it. Also, I don't really know what's going on here as well. There's actually a Roman artillery ship still up and running. Again, I don't think the battle's desynced. It looks like it's played out really well, so I'm sure it hasn't. As we are on the most recent patch as well. Okay, so the last remnants of this beach defense is still here, and now the Romans are rushing back. So you can probably just play on triple speed for a bit, just to kind of see what's going to be going on. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just kind of make some cuts in, I guess, until the naval force. So I imagine it's mainly going to be Rome probably falling back, and then Pontus, I would assume, would retreat their navy. I can't imagine they're going to commit to this. They have, you know, soldiers hammering away here against the light ships. They are taking some casualties, but again, it's just local militia, nothing to really worry about. And Pontus is basically, you know, basically broken at this point. They have been unsuccessful at sieging the great city of Athens. And obviously, we do have the forces moving slowly through the town to obviously try and conquer this, but you've got cavalry retreating. And the nice thing is as well, the Romans can just enter the city this way as well. Just go back in and just kind of come through here to hit off these missiles that are situated here. Well, if the Pontic forces could actually take the gatehouse, they could actually prevent a lot of that stuff from happening. But I don't think it's going to be the case. And there you go, yeah. Roman's going to fall back. So let's cut ahead until maybe these missiles get hit by something. There we go. The missiles have been stopped in their tracks by just some basic slingers, but that was enough. They've also got some reinforcements back inside of the city now, so there's going to be more slingers hitting them in the rear. I think there's a cavalry unit has now turned up as well. It's quite close to breaking, honestly, but still is going to be going down pretty quickly. Reinforcing that position, and I can only imagine that's going to be, I mean, as I said, the Pontic forces are landing more soldiers, but I think it is folly right now to commit to this. Definitely knowing when you're beaten is a good idea. It does seem that they are trying to make a breach, and again, that's why I love these artillery ships actually, because you can open up a breach for your navy itself. Like, it's actually a really, really smart idea. I need to be using more artillery ships for sure. Does seem like, though, however, these missiles and cyber settlement, they're kind of a good idea, but I think something like that should have happened a long time ago, forcing them back from this assault, and it would have actually been really, really useful indeed. And now we're just getting kind of minor forces getting off of the boats, but nowhere really for them to go whatsoever. And I think Rome has this one in the bag. Unfortunately, Pontus not able to break through. So we'll skip ahead again just in case anything crazy does happen. But I imagine in a second Pontus will probably just fall back with their units. These guys will just be broken upon. The artillery ship crews, no match for the Legionaries. And the battle will be over momentarily. So it does actually seem like the forces from Pontus are committing to this fully, going everything they have at the Roman walls. And yeah, I think this is a silly decision. DEI is something where you have to cut your losses and retreat where you can. They decimated the Roman navy, but in turn doing so, by committing to this fight, they're also going to be decimating their own, as they're looking to obviously make a breach point in this wall, which they might not even do, or at least try and catch some of the Roman army as it retreats. But they just don't really have enough to make it count right now. And yeah, as I said, I don't think they have enough missiles to actually finish off this part of the wall, which actually really sucks. If they have this, then maybe they can make their way in. There are some forces still inside the city, though. They have a unit of Marines and a unit of artillery crew in there doing a pretty decent job. But yeah, the other kind of forlorn hope positions outside the settlement are really, really struggling. And the Roman Legionaries are cleaning them up bit by bit. Bringing them down, slicing them in half, and showing them the true power of Roman steel. And this is going to really help out Roman dominance. Now, in the battle intro, that they gave me on the Discord, they were also attacking Sparta, and the majority of their forces were in Sparta. Like, this was more of like a distraction assault, so they could break through in Sparta and then push north to link up with their armies. For Pontus, this is link up with their armies in Athens. So even though they're going to lose naval superiority in the sea, in the Mediterranean, they're still going to gain access to Sparta and then able to like push up and probably wound what is left of Athens. So I kind of maybe not necessarily disagree completely with what they're doing. They're looking to kind of inflict as much casualties as possible, so their armies in Sparta, I think they have 2 full stacks in Sparta, could quite easily break through. There's no idea how many forces the Romans have in the area at this point. It could be 10, it could be 2, it could be none. As this battle was sent into me from the point of view of Pontus. So he is just looking to do as much damage as possible to the enemy ranks. The rocks just flying in, luckily they're bouncing off the majority of the shields. The local hoplites are going to turn around. But yeah, as you can see, there's just not much really left remaining. I really hope the battle hasn't desynced. There's a couple units here. I am using the previous patch as well, so we can but hope everything will be okay. I mean, it looks like the battle's played out fine, so that's always a good sign when I don't really notice it. And hopefully these guys will do another big head-to-head, because their battles have actually been really, really good. So hopefully they'll do another head-to-head and send me in some of the big battles from that. I would love to see it on the new patch as well. Would be absolutely amazing. You can see the Romans are completely wrapping around. Some of their units are actually breaking, but there's no way this artillery marine crew can really do anything of value whatsoever. Their time is now, and yeah, it's going to be GG indeed. So I really, really, really love the idea from the Roman player during this battle. I mean, we could probably just double speed it through this battle now. I love what the Roman player did, seizing that the majority of the Pontic navy was going to kill the Roman navy, meaning that they would get their reinforcements on first, and seeing that Pontus, wasn't going to really replace many of their ships pretty early on, meaning that they could sally out and surround the inferior, inferior eastern forces before they could reinforce their navy, before they could really do anything. Well, this is a really, really smart move by the Roman player. It's something I wouldn't have done. It could have actually lost you a battle, because if you allow the Pontic navy to actually land like early on and can like form up, if you allow the Pontic navy just to completely bombard the walls, like that's going to definitely change the way the battle flows. And I think Rome definitely maybe won this battle where I probably personally would have lost it, because I would have just stayed inside my settlement. And probably just kind of let the enemy come to me, but I don't think that would have been a good idea. The Romans wouldn't have been able to utilize their maneuverability as effectively, and the Pontic pikes would have just done such a great job with all the artillery raining down on them as well. So yeah, really, really nice play, really, really nice play indeed by the Roman player, and I think he's definitely earned this victory for sure. So big shout out to him, and obviously big shout out to the Pontic player as well. Devastating that naval engagement at the beginning of the game itself. And yeah, we're just going to kind of watch for the last couple minutes, the last couple pops of resistance. But yeah, as I said, this now gives the Roman player complete naval dominance. Obviously, Pontus can rebuild with a strong economy. They own a lot of, rich lands over in Egypt, as you guys would have saw by the map in the beginning, and a ton of other territory that will hopefully facilitate them. But so does Rome. Rome owns Italia. It owns Greece or Hellas. It owns actually doesn't own Hellas. It owns Pella. Which is strong, and it also owns Carthage as well. So two strong economies, really diving head to head. I mean, this is always the best part of any head-to-head campaign as well, is when the players actually come together and fight one another. That's why it's always so good. So yeah, Pontus is going to lose this one. We will jump in though to the extra credits, and we'll see who actually does come out on top when it comes to kills. So, the Roman forces managed to kill 3,000. They lost 2,700 themselves, which is actually quite a lot. And most of that was probably from their navy as well. Oh yeah, so okay, that's why they had a weird number, is because they were marine ships. Okay, that makes a ton of sense. I was like, why? Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You can see their navy got absolutely just demolished in that battle. Unfortunately, we can't see the land forces in this. It doesn't show us individual armies. But yeah, that was a massive GG there for the Pontus player, doing some pretty good work. And look at the reinforcements from the Beanie Confederation. MVPs right there. MVPs indeed. Unfortunately, as I said, we can't see the land forces because that's just how Rome 2 works. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, drop a like and a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.